Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. We close out today's show, and we have been all over the United States, from Wyoming to Michigan to Florida, and what better place to end than Northwest Tennessee, talking to our man that, and I have to tell this guy that thanks to him, I got an award at the Tennessee Outdoor Writers Conference for my newspaper story on a dynamic duo, and that is Ronnie Capps and Steve Cohen.
That's right.
I was pleased that the old man could still write and doesn't just get paid for his mouth. But
wow!
Hey, what better guy to talk out to end out this show than Ronnie Capps, our good friend who's is officially retired from the TWRA. I don't know if they know that yet, Ronnie. You need to let them know, okay?
But sometimes it takes them a while.
It does take them a while, yeah, and everything. But good to have Ronnie on. Ronnie and Steve, fresh off their victory at Ross Barnett and the American Crappie Trail. Over 27 pounds of fish, crappie, if I'm not mistaken. A real tight race. Whitey Outlaw and his son right in there with them, but... Ronnie, I'm going to ship it in here real quick, but I want to let everybody know that he used waxworms. Okay, I got that out of the way. All right, I got that out of the way. I know what spider rigs are, things like that. But Ron Wong is jumping on this. Bill Cooksy's here. Well, we are talking to Ronnie Capps, one of the good guys in the sport of crappie fishing. Good morning, Ronnie.
How you doing, Larry?
I'm always wired talking on this show, and particularly when I get to talk to you. And Kelly, make sure that you get on the radio. With that
That's
background that you got, or maybe your mom is up there where I love to go eat. If you know a lot of the history of the Capps family, boy, they are Reelfoot and the Capps kind of go together, just together. Because if you had not eaten at what's the name of that little restaurant up there?
Well, we got Boyette's. My grandmother run Lakeview there for forever,
Yes.
and she retired out of there. But way back when was Gooch's. That was the Gooch family.
It was, yeah. But it's part of it. Ron, you were there at Ross Barnett, and I know that Ronnie and Steve, what a combination. We all know of Steve's what happened to Steve. They are still a team. Steve was injured on the job. Really some life-changing injuries that he had, and Ronnie is now retired, as we said, a long career with the TWRA, based out of his home area up there. But, Ron, you were there when Ronnie and Steve won this event, 2-day tournament.
Yeah.
So you talk about how they won it, and then we'll let Ronnie come on and give us the true story.
Well, 2-day tournament there at Ross Barnett out of Ridgeland, Mississippi. And the Friday, which was the first day of the tournament, the wind was actually down a little bit. It was only 8 to 10 miles an hour.
Only.
So it was only choppy out there. Of course, the second day, the wind got up 12 to 15 miles an hour.
As it does.
And the Whitecaps on Ross Barnett decided to show up like
Whitecaps
they do.
does not bother Ronnie Capps.
And
okay.
I have to tell you, that lake, because it only averages 12 feet deep,
Really?
stays rough.
That's
all. That's right. And because the waves have nowhere to bounce down to.
Kind of like Reelfoot.
It's real shallow, and they bounce right back up. But I have to tell you, you talk about a lot of crappie caught.
I saw.
There was a bunch of crappie caught, and some nice ones. And the thing is our friends Ronnie and Steve brought in something that's very unusual down there. That was a crappie that weighed over 3 pounds.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
And that's big.
unusual anywhere.
Except for Grenada and Arca Butler.
But Ross Barnett, though.
Ross
right?
Barnett, that's very unusual.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Bill, you're right.
That's a 12, 13-pound bass.
You know,
Really?
that's a huge fish.
Yeah, that would be.
And, we talked about how we're all getting older and everything. But and Ronnie was talking about this at the first or second day weigh-in. I don't remember. But, Ronnie, you guys have switched from 16-foot trolling poles, which most everybody uses now on spider rigs, down to 14-foot poles. How does that help you?
Well, Ron, we definitely have. That's one change we made there. There will be some times we'll use 16s again, I'm sure, but honestly, it's just a lot easier to handle the 14-footer versus the 16. And I just suggest somebody starting a 12 would be my start off rod. If you had never done what we do, but that 14 is pretty well the most comfortable rod we got. So BGJP is what we were using, and we was using an 8-pound line on 16th-ounce jig heads. They're pro-built jig heads.
And that's a signature pro-built jig head that you're coming out with, right?
Yeah, you know what? Got some folks involved here that should have been involved a long time ago, but with some quality product, actually, that we have had to have custom made by individuals over the years, and I never tie a jig on my line unless it's got some quality to it. I'm telling you, and these people understand that. So I'm tickled to death. Or at least out here, I guarantee you, folks are going to catch more fish with these things. So anyway, we used jigs the whole way, both days there. There was one instance there we did do a little minnow rigging, but that lake is terribly dangerous. I recommend anybody getting on it, watch that weather before you do. And 12 mile an hour is about a break point.
Yeah.
12 mile an hour will make it come over the bow of a 22-foot Ranger out there in the center of that lake. So it's dangerous.
But you guys were able to compensate and come in with 28.16 pounds, which is amazing for me for Ross Barnett for 2 days. Under those weather conditions, and I know the American Crappie Trail, you just want a lot more fans for it. And Ron had told me that over $62,000, a record-setting payoff for this tournament. Does that not make crappie fishing? If you'd have told me this 10 years ago, Bill, you know,
absolutely.
I mean, you would.
It's big.
It's big.
It's big.
You know, you used to think perch jerker tournament. So this is now.
Ronnie and Steve not only won a Ranger RT-188C Ranger boat with a 115 Evinrude, but they also won some side money, and then they won
the big fish
money.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty good payday.
Well, that's what they go for, right, Ronnie? Since you're retired
right.
now, we
got some minimum money anyway. Yeah, so I tell you what, it's there's more money going out to not just top heavy either, to the anglers that are participating on this trail than I've ever seen. Really.
80 boats. 80 boats. That was just blown with 80 boats.
And Ronnie,
they make great money on down through 20th place there for sure. And I'm so excited. I hadn't been this excited since I won the first one, I think. But, I'm seeing people that are fishing this thing that have never fished a tournament before. I know I had some friends that did, and it's not just for the professional guys either. I'm telling you, they got they're winning money too. So people that just starting out doing this is actually making a check, and I'm excited for it to get over 100 boats, and I hope they cap it at 100 actually. But who knows what we're going to be doing in another year or two.
Well, no, Ron, you had mentioned, is this number 3? How many tournaments we had so far?
This is the second tournament.
Second one. All right. So we're going from here to.
We're going to be at Kentucky Lake in May.
That's what I think. Kentucky Lake in May. Yep. So 6 tournaments total, right?
Yep.
6 tournaments. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
So you can plan these in a boat at every tournament, right?
They're giving away, a boat every tournament.
So Ronnie, from your experience, and you've been crappie fishing, I remember since you said you were in your diapers with your grandpa. I remember you talking about that. Did you ever envision something like this and throw out a little Yahoo, so to speak, to Matt Morgan and that group? This is something you probably dreamed about.
It's definitely something that it fell right in place for me. That's what we grew up doing is fishing for paying fish and largemouth too. But caught commercial fish and done. I've just been outdoors my entire life, and it's all been part of my life. So I'm so excited that I can make a little income from doing exactly what I love to do, and I know that there's a lot more people feel the same way, without question. But it sure does help, and it just pushes the bar a little higher for everybody to be able to go and travel and actually pay for the expenses to learn and enjoy the outdoors that we're getting to enjoy these days.
Well,
you know, just real quickly.
Yeah.
But on these tournaments, on any given tournament, on any given day, anybody can win one of these tournaments, right, Ronnie?
There's no question about it. You know, Ron, I got on the spot down there at Ross Barnett, and Ross Barnett is a lake that resembles Reelfoot, if you will, with all the cover. We just don't have the gators yet. So anyway,
that's okay.
They're coming.
That's okay.
It fell right into my arms as far as being familiar, and I really just turned right around and done what I do at Reelfoot to catch fish, and got on a couple good areas that had some real nice fish in them, and the one big bite that the fish over 3. I mean that definitely sealed the deal for us right there.
Well,
no
that
question.
was the difference.
Well, I know when you're the super clean team. We're going to throw that in there because I've seen you with the picture of it. So super clean Ronnie is what it is, buddy. Hey, we thank you for being with us this morning. As always on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Hope you have a great tournament up at Kentucky Lake, and I know Bill Cooksey would know there's some crappie in there, Bill?
Man, I've done support this year. Don't ask me.
Oh, don't ask him. Okay, we don't want to do that then.
Man.
Hey, Ronnie.
Well, Larry, I appreciate you having me, son. I sure do.
All right, buddy. Thank you. All right, Ronnie Capps. Let's take a little breath here and then talk about next week's show as we close out here. We're going to have the commissioner himself, Bill Cox, is going to come in and spend some time with us. Talking about this week, so they're setting the hunting seasons this week. The TWRA, not the TWRA, they're now the Tennessee Fish and Wildlife or something Commission. I get it all wrong. He knows that. But we're going to have Commissioner Cox from Collierville come in and sit with us. Dave Gabbert will be in the studio also, the retired mouth of the TWRA, who's now a man of luxuries. He takes care of his wife, who had to have surgery after slipping and falling on their vacation. Rand, we hope you're better. But that'll all be next week on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Ron, thank you.
Thank you, and we'll be talking from Kentucky Lake next week.
Yes, we will. Ron will be, he's everywhere. Bill, thank you for stopping by
Enjoyed
in between
it.
your big, long trips and everything.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Greg Ratliff, for taking care of us. This is Larry Ray reminding you I do each and every week. It doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. And God bless the USA.